What's going on, Raider Nation? So it's week 6, and the Oakland Raiders host the Cleveland Browns, a team that, let's just say they're struggling a little bit, but they are definitely one of those on-the-rise teams. A lot of people, this was a trendy pick for them, the Cleveland Browns, to be the most improved team in wins. And so far, they're looking kind of like the same of last year. They sound like they could compete with a big team, but then they could also lose a game here and there. Very inconsistent team for the most part, but when they're on, they're on. The thing with Cleveland lightly scares me is Peyton Hillis. I know their running game has not been effective so far this year. They've struggled a bit. Theoretically, Cleveland has an offensive line. They got Joe Thomas, you got Alex Mack there. Especially Joe Thomas being the franchise left tackle that every team will covet. He's definitely probably one of the better players from that '07 draft class, outside of Calvin Johnson. But yeah, for the Browns, their offense has not had a lot of attack passing-wise. They've had some clutch throws. That one against Miami they threw, but that was against a bad secondary. The only receiver they have that's really dangerous to me is Muhammad Massaquoi. He's not exactly your true number one to me, but he still has the ability to catch and get open, which we need to be careful for. The Raiders, the defense, first of all, make sure everyone's, of course, healthy. Shouldn't be too much of an issue there. I want to see them second going after Colt McCoy like crazy, because this defense should own the Cleveland Browns offense. There's no excuses. The secondary should not be playing soft. Do not give these fat cushions. I really think these receivers will be vulnerable to the bump and run coverage that we're typical playing with disruption. There's always that debate. Should Michael Huffey play in corner or not? I know he's a safety, but he can play a one-on-one man very well, shutdown-wise, which what I've been watching a little more. The run defense definitely improved last week against Houston. Very thankful for that, but still got to watch out through the air. If Cleveland starts wanting to throw the ball, we need to step up to the task for that, because for the most part, Cleveland, as I said, doesn't have much offense to me. They don't. But if they start passing the ball and we play the way we did last week against Houston, we got to watch out. Going from the other side of the ball in offense, Cleveland does not have a good run defense, and because of that, they're statistically ranked good against the pass. But we have the receivers that cut through their secondary. I think Joe Hayden's been a good upgrade for them. But overall, they have tackling trouble, and I really think that we were able to cut under with those short passes, and we can use those yards after catch plays instantly. We got to run the ball down their throats, and we can win this game. I feel we can win this game comfortably if we effectively run the ball. That's the only way. If we somehow play down to their level, it's if the run game doesn't click. McFadden, Bush, Tywan Jones, whoever's going to get the ball, carrying the ball, we need to see a very effective offensive line, because the offensive line allowed some sacks against a good pass rush for once. I got to give my props to Houston last week for getting to Jason Campbell finally a little more this time around. The penalties were actually not as bad last week like it has been before. I think there were a couple bad penalties, to be honest. Quentin Groves got to hustle off the field after seeing him walk off the field when there's a substitution. You got to hustle a little bit more. But yeah, the penalties weren't as bad. That Carlisle holding penalty, I don't know how that was a holding. Someone needs to tell me if it was, because I was pretty pissed off at that. Special teams, guy, of course, known as Josh Cribbs, the guy that's been a return specialist. Kick returns should not be a huge issue because of how we get touchbacks a lot, but I wouldn't be surprised if we allow a fat return if Josh Cribbs somehow gets open and Janikowski messes up the kick. We need to be careful with that, because Cribbs is definitely a dangerous weapon for special teams. But yes, our receivers should be able to cut over them. The offense should be able to score easily, because Cleveland's defense still has a lot of issues, a lot of holes going. Cleveland did show that they can play with anyone, having these close games against the Jets last year. They had they were able to cream the Patriots, and then they beat the Saints as well last year out of nowhere. So Campbell better not be making these dumb mistakes. If he plays the mistake-free football, game manager style that we play, we can win this game. I have full confidence that we're able to, as long as the run game clicks and the defense does not let Colt McCoy throw on them. We should be all right. Quickly, a few shout-outs goes in the description. There's one Raider fan. I think a lot of you are familiar with him, so check him out in the description. Also, a couple Cleveland fans, You're All Witnesses and Rick Dog 216. You know, some of y'all may not watch the other video makers around here on YouTube, but there's a couple cool trash talkers here from Cleveland. I can respect the Cleveland fan base because of how they've had to endure a lot of tough times over the past 40 years. I know whether it's Red Ryder 88, the fumble, the drive, of course, the shot by Michael Jordan, Jose Mesa failing to close the save in 1997. Yeah, the list goes on, and of course we all know some guy who took his talents to South Beach, quitting in Game 5 and 6 of the NBA playoffs, and just kind of moving the douche way. I know it's been pretty tough to be a Cleveland fan, so I'll give these two guys a lot of props where it is. Also, if you miss game highlights, this guy uploads Win or Lose. I know some of you remember him as Raider Mike the Realist, and his account got suspended. He has another account. He had a backup account if he never subbed it, so his link will also be in the description as well. So once again, go Raiders. Just win, baby, and we got to show lots of mental toughness for this game and take care of business against the team we should beat. If the game is not sold out or something, that's where I'll need your help again, but hopefully there should be a sellout and not a blackout. We'll see y'all later, and go Raiders.